Since bringing Jasper, the shy tabby cat, home from the shelter, Mariah noticed something peculiar. Jasper would spend hours each day perched on the windowsill, gazing intently outside. It was more than just a casual interest. There was a deep longing in his eyes that Mariah couldn't understand. One day, driven by concern and curiosity, Mariah decided to investigate the mystery behind Jasper's unwavering focus, leading to a revelation that would take her back to the shelter where it all began. Mariah had tried many times to look over Jasper's shoulder and see what he was so fixated on. But to her untrained human eyes, there seemed to be nothing out of the ordinary outside. Just her normal, quiet, suburban neighborhood. There was occasionally a dog being walked or an outside cat that appeared through the window, but Jasper did not even look at those animals for a second. The cat's gaze just stayed fixated on something in the distance. That is the only way that Mariah was able to explain it. That, or the animal was just staring blindly out the window. But she figured that this was simply happening too often for that to be the case. And if Mariah tried to close the blinds, the animal would immediately try to get behind them to see the outside again. The more Mariah analyzed the behavior, the more curious about it she became. She started to notice that Jasper often took his place in front of the window at around the same time in the afternoon every single day, and that he would sit there for at least 2 hours, but often a lot longer. It did not matter what kind of weather it was either. Mariah had even decided to call a vet and see what his opinion on the matter was. But as long as Jasper was not showing any symptoms of health problems, he was not too worried about it. He, however, did not have an explanation for the behavior, but suggested that Jasper might be better off being an outside cat if all he did was stare through the window. The behavior could indicate boredom. Mariah understood the concerns of the vet, but did not entirely buy into his theory. Jasper had been an inside cat for 5 years now, and had never shown any behavior like this before, and never presented with symptoms of boredom. Mariah just felt like there was something else going on, and even though the vet did not give her the answers she hoped for, he did give her an idea of how to find out the truth for herself. Maybe if she let Jasper outside, he would walk towards whatever he had been looking at. It might be a long shot, but she really did not have any other idea of how to figure out what the hell was going on with her beloved pet. But she could not just let Jasper go outside. The cat had never been out of the comforts of her home and closed-off garden. She had no idea how he would react. So as a precautionary measure, she went out to the pet store and bought a small leash and harness which she could use to walk Jasper outside safely. But getting the apparatus on Jasper was a bit more difficult than she had anticipated. The cat was not used to this at all and was working against the harness the best it could. It took a little while for the animal to get even the slightest bit comfortable with it. But eventually, Jasper walked around with the harness like he had done it for years. This was the moment that Mariah knew the cat was ready for the outside. She hooked the leash to the harness and opened up the front door for Jasper to go out and explore. And even though the animal seemed to be as curious as he could be, Jasper was also very cautious. He slowly started to make his way outside, not yet having any focus on whatever he had been staring at through the window for months. The cat was just trying to find its footing in a whole new world for the animal. But when Mariah managed to get Jasper to the side of the house the window was looking out on, something quickly changed in the animal's behavior. Jasper suddenly acted a lot more confident, and instead of endlessly sniffing the ground and everything around him, he started to purposely walk in a direction away from the home. The cat was almost pulling on the leash. Mariah's heart started to beat faster. She knew that Jasper would lead her right to where she wanted to go. Mariah and Jasper ventured forth from their home, embarking on a journey led by Jasper's restless spirit. The tabby cat, once timid, now trod with purpose, guiding Mariah into realms unknown. Her heart raced, filled with a mix of excitement and unease, as they left the familiar comfort of their neighborhood behind. The landscape transformed as they reached the city's edge, where concrete gave way to green. Mariah's curiosity piqued, yet worry gnawed at her. What could draw Jasper to venture so far? The contrast between their suburban life and the unfolding rural vista stirred a deep sense of adventure within her. Silence enveloped them, a stark contrast to the suburban clamor they were accustomed to. Mariah observed the serene rural landscape, mystified by Jasper's attraction to this place. The tranquility of their surroundings offered a peaceful respite, yet underscored the mystery of Jasper's longing. Jasper's determination became increasingly apparent as they ventured further. Mariah's anxiety about their destination grew, yet she couldn't help but admire his resolve. The cat's keen focus hinted at a purpose Mariah could not yet fathom, deepening the mystery of their journey. As they moved beyond familiar territory, Mariah's awe for the unfolding landscape intensified. The beauty and serenity of their surroundings captivated her, making every step into the unknown a thrilling leap into adventure. Jasper's confidence and purposeful strides filled Mariah with a sense of wonder about the world through his eyes. Jasper's confident strides halted before an eerie, abandoned house, its facade marred by time and neglect. Mariah's curiosity piqued as she gazed upon the forgotten structure, its windows like empty eyes staring back. This desolate place, somehow significant to Jasper, stood silent against the backdrop of their adventure, inviting them into its mysteries. With a mix of hesitation and determination, Mariah approached the weathered door, her knocks echoing unanswered through the empty halls. The silence that followed felt almost tangible, wrapping the house in an even greater mystery. It was as if the very air held its breath, waiting for the secrets within to be unearthed. The house's dilapidated exterior spoke volumes of its neglect. Peeling paint and overgrown vines told stories of years gone by, a once cherished home now forgotten. Mariah couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness for the house, wondering about the lives that had once filled its rooms with laughter and warmth, now left to whispers in the wind. Confused yet intrigued by Jasper's fixation, Mariah circled the property. Here and there, remnants of the past peeked through the overgrowth: a child's toy, a rusted garden tool. Each piece hinted at the house's former inhabitants, sparking Mariah's imagination about who they might have been and what drew Jasper to this place. The silence enveloping the abandoned house weighed heavily on Mariah's shoulders. Standing in the unkempt yard, she contemplated their next move. This place, shrouded in mystery and time, seemed to hold the key to Jasper's strange behavior. Yet the quiet around them was both a beckoning and a warning, as if the house itself was pondering their presence. As Mariah explored the yard, she noticed old cat toys scattered amidst the weeds, balls of yarn, small plush mice, and tattered scratching posts. These relics of joy and play deepened the enigma, suggesting a once thriving haven for felines. This discovery made Mariah wonder about the lives that had brushed past these toys, leaving behind echoes of purrs and playfulness. A passerby, noticing Mariah's puzzled look, paused to share tales of the house's last occupant, an elderly woman known for Heart of Gold, dedicated to rescuing stray cats. This revelation sparked a realization in Mariah: perhaps Jasper's interest in this place was more than mere curiosity. It hinted at a connection, woven from kindness and care, that Jasper might have once known. The stories of the elderly woman and her rescue cats painted a vivid picture of compassion and refuge. Mariah stood there, pondering Jasper's past, wondering if his path had once crossed with the kind-hearted rescuer. This legacy of kindness seemed to resonate with Jasper, suggesting a bond to the place that went beyond the visible ties. The connection Mariah felt to the house's history grew stronger, as if the spirits of those rescued cats lingered, whispering their stories. She sensed that Jasper's fixation on this place was more than coincidence. It was a call to a past life, a return to a once familiar haven. This sense of unseen bonds tugged at her heart, urging her to uncover more. Clues scattered around the property hinted at Jasper's familiarity with the surroundings. The way he navigated the yard, his interest in certain spots, all pointed to a recognition, a memory embedded in his steps. Mariah's intrigue deepened, piecing together the narrative of Jasper's connection to this place, a puzzle slowly forming a picture of his past encounters here. In a fleeting moment, Jasper's adventurous spirit overcame the constraints of his harness. With a swift, unexpected movement, he slipped free and darted towards the house, leaving Mariah a step behind. Panic and determination surged within her as she pursued Jasper, her fear for his safety overshadowing the shock of his sudden escape. Through thickets and overgrown grass, Mariah chased Jasper, her heart pounding with every step. The uneven terrain and dense foliage slowed her down, but her worry for Jasper propelled her forward. Each rustle and shadow in the underbrush seemed to mock her efforts, amplifying her concern for his well-being as she navigated the obstacles between them. The chase ended as abruptly as it had begun, with Mariah's foot catching on a hidden root, sending her tumbling to the ground. As she gathered herself, she found Jasper sitting calmly by a cat door carved into the house's foundation, his serene demeanor in stark contrast to the frantic moments before, hinting at a familiarity with this hidden entrance. Jasper's calmness at the cat door suggested a deep-rooted recognition, as if he had crossed this threshold many times before. Mariah watched, puzzled and intrigued, as Jasper waited patiently, his behavior indicating a comfort and familiarity with the house that Mariah could not yet comprehend, deepening the mystery of his connection to this place. Sitting beside the cat door, Mariah contemplated Jasper's possible past encounters with the house. The ease with which he navigated to this spot and his calm waiting hinted at a history Mariah had yet to uncover. This threshold marked more than a physical boundary, it was a gateway to understanding Jasper's untold story and his mysterious bond with the house. With a heavy heart and a stone in hand, Mariah shattered a small window to gain entry. The sound of breaking glass echoed through the silent house, marking her intrusion. Driven by a mixture of concern for Jasper and a deep-seated curiosity about the house's connection to him, she carefully climbed through, her mind racing with what she might discover inside. Stepping into the dim interior, Mariah was immediately surrounded by the remnants of a life once lived. Dust-covered furniture and faded photographs adorned the space, offering a glimpse into the house's past. As she moved cautiously, the presence of cat toys and beds hinted at Jasper's possible history with this place, weaving a tangible connection between him and the home. The house seemed to hold its breath as Mariah explored, finding photographs that told stories of companionship and love. Among the images, she spotted several that featured cats, which made her wonder if Jasper was among them. Each room held memories, and Mariah felt as though she was piecing together a puzzle, with Jasper at its center. "Jasper," Mariah called out, her voice cutting through the silence. There was no response, only the echo of her own words bouncing off the walls. The house felt empty, yet charged with the memories of those who once filled its rooms. Mariah's concern grew with each unanswered call, the silence amplifying her fears about Jasper's whereabouts. As she moved through the house, the quiet seemed to grow heavier, casting shadows of doubt over her decision to break in. The stillness was unnerving, making Mariah question what she hoped to find and whether Jasper's connection to this place was worth the risks they were now facing. Each step felt like a further intrusion into a story that was not hers to uncover. Mariah's steps echoed through the silent corridors, each room seemingly holding its breath. The quiet was profound, enveloping her in a shroud of solitude. "Jasper," she whispered, half expecting an answer, half fearing she wasn't alone. The house's silence was a heavy cloak, making her question if unseen eyes were watching, hidden in the shadows. Mariah's voice echoed through the vast emptiness of the house as she desperately called for Jasper. Each unanswered shout deepened her sense of isolation, with the silence around her becoming almost a tangible presence. The house's eerie stillness pressed heavily on her, amplifying her fears and making her question her reality. As Mariah continued her search, the sense of Jasper's presence seemed to fade, replaced by an unsettling feeling that she was not alone. The oppressive silence and the feeling of being watched made her skin prickle with unease. Every room she entered seemed to hold its breath, waiting for something to break the silence, while the lack of any sign of Jasper or recent habitation added to her mounting anxiety. Her heart pounded as she heard the sound of a key turning in the lock. Ducking behind a large, dust-covered armoire, she felt a deep sense of dread. Each creak of the floorboards and every shuffle echoed in her ears, amplifying her fear. The imminent encounter with an unknown visitor filled her with a rush of adrenaline, urging her to flee yet compelling her to stay silent. Then a voice called out. Jasper, the familiarity of the name, spoken with concern and affection, offered a sliver of hope. Mariah's fear momentarily subsided, replaced by curiosity. Could this person hold the key to understanding Jasper's connection to the house? The mention of Jasper's name tethered her to her spot, eager yet apprehensive about what she might learn. Summoning her courage, Mariah stepped from the shadows to confront the stranger. Her heart raced as she prepared for any outcome, ready to protect Jasper and herself. The stranger turned, revealing a face from her past, one that filled her with a mix of relief and astonishment. This unexpected familiarity eased the initial shock, paving the way for a cautious dialogue about Jasper. As they spoke, the depth of Jasper's connection to the man became clear. The man shared stories of his bond with Jasper, formed through acts of kindness and care. Mariah listened intently, piecing together the puzzle of Jasper's past. This encounter bridged their shared histories with the present, turning a potential threat into a connection rooted in mutual concern for Jasper's well-being. This newfound understanding deepened Mariah's appreciation for the enduring impact of kindness and loyalty, enriching her bond with Jasper and offering valuable insights into their journey together.